up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Talking Elite Fitness. I'm Sean Woodland, joined by, in the daytime now, Lauren Khalil. Lauren, how are you? We're not at the witching hour your time, so
I haven't even done my bedtime routine yet, so this is amazing.
We're way ahead of the game.
Thank you.
All right.
Yes, we're doing great.
And featuring Tommy Marquez. Tommy, what's new in your world today?
I picked up a bunch of gutters. You know, my mind was in the gutter today because I was.
I was trying to think of a dad joke to make, and you beat me to it. Well done. You've taken your first step into a larger world, as Obi-Wan Kenobi has once said to Luke Skywalker. Your dad game is respect.
Thriving.
Dad game, respect dad game. Well, we got some stuff to talk about today. Some things are going on. We have the CrossFit Rulebook is out. There's some changes there that we're going to talk about. We have the WFP finals taking place next week. Got a little bit of stuff on the possible sale of CrossFit that we can talk about. Not a ton. And then we got that partnership now between NC Fit and Mayhem, which I think is pretty cool. So, sorry, I'm a little under the weather. My eyes are watering. So we'll have some things to chat about today. But before we do that, we want to thank our sponsor, and that is Thirdzy and their Rest and Recovery Collagen. This is how much Thirdzy means to me. I was like dead tired the other night, and I went to bed. I was kind of in a rush. I got a lot of stuff I had to get done. Went to bed, and I was like kind of tossing and turning. And then about an hour later, I didn't have my Thirdzy. Jumped
when you got up
out of bed.
Oh,
trundled on out to the kitchen. Yeah, poured my Thirdzy, had it, went back to bed. I don't know, about 30 minutes later, I was asleep. So that's how important Thirdzy is. Like, I will get out of bed when I'm nice and toasty because it's getting cold here. You know, it's cold in the house now. It's not fun to get out of bed. And
heated blanket.
Yeah, I got the weighted blanket, but I don't have the heated one. But Thirdzy's fantastic. I know you guys have heard us talk about it a lot. If you're not on the Thirdzy train, the holidays are a great time to get on it. You can go to thirdzy.com. You can use our code TEF, and you will save 20% on the Rest and Recovery Collagen. Has ingredients in it like GABA, L-theanine, magnesium. Those are all in there to help your central nervous system calm down so you can get to sleep faster, stay asleep longer, get more out of your sleep. And if you're a master's athlete, it's even more important because it's going to help you heal better while you're snoozing. And Lord knows, masters, we like to snooze, so get that collagen protein.
And the travel packs make for great stocking stuffers.
Beautiful idea. Didn't think about that. There you go. Yeah.
We love that.
Energy.
Yeah. And it doesn't have melatonin in it either. So it's not habit forming. And you can drink it during the day because it doesn't make you drowsy. It just calms you down. Mm-hmm. Right.
Also, I haven't mentioned this before, but I don't like if people who take other sleep aids and that have melatonin, if you have to get up early, that's usually something that you can't do just because if you have to cut your sleep schedule short, and the amount of time of sleep you end up with, it's almost like a negative effect with how groggy you wake up. Not an issue. Took Thirdzy last night, had to get up super early.
Feeling good.
Ready to go.
Thirdzy.com, and the code is TEF. Okay, Tommy, you will be on the road next week. You are flying to Copenhagen for the 2025 World Fitness Project Finals. There's been a lot of news surrounding that. Are we set to go? Has there been anything more that has happened as we get set for the third and final tour stop? Well, I guess it's not a tour stop. It's now the finals.
Yes, it is the World Fitness Finals. We are all ready to go. I leave Monday on a jet plane straight to Munich first for a short layover where I will bury myself in duty-free candy and snacks. And then head on over to Copenhagen after a short layover. Competition goes Thursday through Sunday. Opens Thursday in Sweden with a swim event. So we're going transnational? International?
International, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're crossing international borders, yeah, I guess that counts. Yeah. And go ahead.
I have two questions off of that. One, how far is that from like the location of the venue? And two, do people need to fill out extra paperwork in order to go to that, like visas and things like that, since it's out of country?
Don't know about the paperwork. I'm sure if at least for athletes and personnel are concerned, WFP has handled that to make sure that we're all kind of squared away. What was the first question again? distance, about 40. I want to say 45 minutes to an hour. It's pretty short. It's actually pretty close. It's not that crazy of a drive. It might be 90 minutes with traffic, if I remember correctly. Which is it's very like Bay Area-esque. It can be 45 minutes, but it can also be 90, depending on what time of day. But yeah, so we'll open in Sweden with the swimming events, coming back Copenhagen in Denmark the rest of the way. And I think that like the women's race is super, super tight. Amy Kringle, 30 points ahead of Ariel Lowen and Laura Horvath, who are tied. They're 20 points ahead of Laura Horvath, Lucy Campbell are 20 points ahead of Ariel Lowen. That's pretty much 3 to 4 placements on the overall leaderboard at the end of the finals because of the point acceleration in the finals. So the overall lead for the women is pretty tight. Any of them finish in a combination of 1 through 5 could completely flip the season-long leaderboard. The men's side's a little bit different because James Sprague kind of had a decent lead over Roman Krennikov. He's got about 50 points. 10 points behind him was Austin Hatfield, but Austin won't be there. But Austin was tied with Dallin. So you have a couple of athletes that are right there kind of within striking distance. It's intriguing because James, I don't know if he operates with the lead like this that often. Whereas I think Roman in that second spot, kind of hunting people down, is a little bit more natural a place for him.
That is the last guy I'd want. One of the last guys I'd want chasing me down, Roman Krennikov.
And if Dallin is up to it and like back in top shape, like it's the same thing. Dallin did it precisely this in Mesa, where he bombed the first day, had what he said was his worst day of competition ever, and then came back firing on all cylinders and was just like chasing people down every event and putting up top score. So I think there's some pretty intriguing points races at the top specifically. Now, we've said this on previous shows, but this also dictates overall prize purse for the end of the year. Their points ranking at the end of the full tour. They're integrating a projected leaderboard into this, I believe,
cool.
which as the events unfold, it'll show you where it's relative to their tour rankings.
That's good.
Which is cool. So you can kind of see where that plays out. Also dictates what the pro contracts will be next year too. So it'll be a
so with that. And I'm sorry if this catches you a little bit off guard, but what are like some of those bubble names that could potentially be new pros that weren't signed this year?
Let me grab it. I have a master doc right now. So currently, the athletes. Go figure.
Phone call. It's the gutter guy.
Hey,
can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good. I hate when that happens.
Yeah, we can hear you, Tommy.
All right, hold on. Sorry. For some reason, that also kickstarted another window.
Oh.
And I had like 3 things playing in my ear for that person calling me.
Oh, I hate that.
So right now, there's a handful of so we'll start with the women. Handful of women already in a pro card qualifying position. So Annika Greer, Andrea Solberg, Fie Sagafi, Uda Lundikvam, Var Termanmo, Sydney Mikulishin, Ella Wilkinson, Hannah Black. Those athletes are all currently, if their position holds, they will get a pro contract for next year. The three women right on the outside looking in: Linda Caseman, Lydia Fish, and Jen Muir.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so definitely some opportunity to move up for those first 3 because the points. I think Linda's 8 points back, Lydia's 18. Jennifer is 19 points back. And then Elena Caratala drops like 113 points back. So it's really those 3. And a couple of placements ahead of those women on the leaderboard is really all it takes. For men, right now, the challengers that are in line for a pro card, Colton Mertens is in 6th. He's got a comfortable buffer. Annual Akai, Nick Matthew, Tudor Magna, Jack Farlow, Nate Ackerman, bunch of young guys. Chris Ibarra, all currently above the point spread cut line for earning a pro contract based on current projections of where they're at and who's showing up to the finals. The athletes that are just on the outside looking in include a couple of signed pros. So BKG's in 22nd, and he needs some help. Jeff Adler is in 27th because he missed Mesa due to like injury and trying to recover for Rogue. So he basically has to win and get some help to get the pro card for next year. Outside of BKG, who's in 22nd, Colin Bossard went to the games this year from Switzerland. He's 10 points back of the cut line. Ty Jenkins is 40 points back. And then Danny Camacho is 60 points back. And Tola Maracnio is 80 points back. So all of those are within a reasonable amount. Pretty much anyone else who's below that 100 points needs to win. And realistically, it's Jeff Adler is the one person that can do that. So it's in a kind of an intriguing proposition for him.
Here's something I want us to think about because I think this would make a good discussion for later on. What, as we look back on the first season of WFP, like what did they do really well? What needs to improve, and what kind of impact do we think that it had? And I don't think we're going to know that until the finals happen. I obviously have some thoughts on it right now, but I want to wait till we see that third competition. But just going to put that bug in everyone's ear so we can have that discussion because I think there's a lot of meat on that bone.
100%.
So what I would ask you right now, Tommy, is what do you think? Like, what do you think needs to happen at this final event for WFP to be able to look back on this not the whole season, but just the final event and say, we landed the plane?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you want to, from a technical and logistics standpoint, you want to run a clean competition, right? You want to run a fair competition. I think that comes first and foremost. Being able to run a fair competition where the structure and logistics don't get in the way of athlete performance. That's like the big one, especially at the finals. Beyond that, I think part of the intriguing idea of a tour season is that you can continue to have all this buildup and this shuffling and then the accumulation of points across the entire season still matter.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's kind of what I hope as far as like we get to Sunday, we get to the final two events, and there are 3 or 4 athletes similar to most competitions are razor thin, and that spreading points out across the season doesn't take away from the drama, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I do think we're in this era now where when you take Tia out of the equation, even though Loris has clearly been the next best over time, I don't think there's someone that is so purely dominant that it's a foregone conclusion. So if you can incorporate that into a season-long structure where you see these little back and forth battles throughout the year, and that carries over to the finals, and that implications of that are still prevalent on Sunday on those final events, then I consider that a win because it's more of what you know and love in that instance, and it doesn't take away from it. So
cool. Yeah. Okay, and give us the dates and times it starts again.
Yes, so it starts next Thursday, December 18th. The times you'll have to check. Go to worldfitnessproject.com. They will have dates and times for starting relative to your time zone.
Because, wonderful.
Because we're going to be I'm going to be in Denmark, and it's I'm pretty sure it's like 8 a.m. Thursday or 9 a.m. Thursday, something around
so
that
it's like
time.
Midnight our time.
Yeah. So
midnight fitness.
A little midnight fitness,
dude. I tried to get to bed early last night. I cannot get to bed.
What is early for you, Sean?
Early for me would be 10 p.m. I cannot get to bed before 11. I can't. Like, I just find stuff to do. I'm like, oh no, I got another 20 minutes, and then it just gets away from me. It doesn't matter how tired I am. I don't know what's wrong with me. I got to fix this because I got to start getting to bed earlier because my lack of sleep is detrimental to my health.
Train your brain.
That's completely flipped for me since.
Has it?
Miles came along. Yeah. It like I used to be exactly like that, and I can, and I still can if I have something to do. Like if Tiff goes to bed and I'm working on something, and I don't have someone or something that's like, hey, you need to get to bed now. then I will sit there and crank. Like I was looking up kitchen appliances the other day, and I looked up, and it was just like kind of the old days. It was like 2:30. I'm like, oh, well, that came up quick.
Yeah.
I got to be up in
2:30
3 hours.
a.m. No.
That ain't happening.
Trust me.
I mean, it could. I don't know. I am a night owl.
You don't want to be
I'm
on
good morning. Well,
you don't want to be
yeah,
on the
more
various
morning,
Reddit
right?
appliance forums at 2:30 a.m. The dark place.
All right. Well, let's get to the next thing we want to talk about, and that is the continued news or rumors that are swirling around the sale of CrossFit. Let me bring this up. This was from Hybrid Fitness Media from our good friend Matt Davis on December 4th, and the headline is CrossFit sale nearing completion with deal, quote, most likely by Christmas. So he writes, the CrossFit sale is entering its final stage. In a follow-up conversation with Hybrid Fitness Media, Wade Diebner said the deal is close to being finalized and that the target window for closing is most likely by Christmas, and that's in quotes. The update follows our original reporting from November 12th, which outlined the leading bidders and the status of negotiations at the time. You can read that story here. That's a link. Diebner's also saying that two former bidders are re-engaging and that they kind of want to, I guess, partner with Diebner's group. And then what happens next? Diebner did not share a firm date or outline remaining steps, only that the sale has moved into its final stage and is approaching the finish line. Now, this article did not get nearly as much traction as the original one that Matt put out. I can tell you this: I've had once. Oh, we got covered up Tommy again.
It's okay.
We're putting him to bed.
All the conversations I'm having are more or less off the record. But I can tell you that Diebner and Masterov believe this is the case. Now, whether they're misinformed, I don't know. But they believe very strongly that this is going to happen. Now, we have heard a lot of this stuff before, so that's why I'm saying, maybe pump the brakes a little bit of this on being factual. But I know I know conversations are being had between certain parties. I know people are talking to each other, and I don't think I'm being lied to when I'm getting this information, because I truly think they believe it. There's a difference between lying and then telling what you actually think is a fact. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. So around Christmas is coming up. So we'll see.
Do we know who these other people are? These other two parties that were originally running?
Yeah, I don't.
That's my big question.
I don't. That I do not know. And I probably, even if I did,
forward,
I couldn't
let us know.
Because again, stuff that gets told to me off the record, I keep off the record. But I've also talked to another group that still thinks they're in the running. So that's why I say Diebner and Mastrov believe this, but does not make that the ultimate truth, because there are other people who have other beliefs that seem to read the situation differently. But would I be shocked if this happened? No.
It happened by the end of the year.
Yeah.
Kind of more or less been the target since discussions started, but then it seemed like we were kind of back and forth every week. But like Lauren said, I'm very intrigued by by who those two former bidders are. Two, what their attempt at re-engaging and being a part of it is, i.e., what is their desired involvement as we look at a little dog booty behind
you got a dog fighting ring going there, Lauren?
She's not chasing her tail. She chases her foot, and then she gets the foot in her mouth and continues to go around and around. And she's got
that dog ain't right.
A glob of hair.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That tracks.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dang.
Welcome to my life.
Okay.
Anyways.
Yeah. And
then
I'd be curious
and
then I'd be curious what the response was to the interest from the former bidders.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know, but
right. Like, why are they coming back to the table? Is it because they didn't have enough money to come alone and now they need to group up with people?
I think that's probably the case, because from what I've heard from people who kind of circulate in this world that Diebner and Masterov play in, those two they have real money. I mean, Masterov has been part owner of sports teams. You need a lot of money do that. Now my dogs are going crazy. They must have heard your dogs.
That's an extra comma.
Right? Exactly. So they have everyone who has tried to make this thing happen. The obstacle that I have heard is that they couldn't pull the funding together. Is that they had a business case, they had an offer, and then when it came to going to investors and getting the money, they couldn't get it done. So now you have people who are, and maybe there are other, and this is total speculation. You have these groups that tried to bid that say, "Hey, let's get involved because now we can add our, our little pot to the mix here and see what happens." So
it happens in other sports too, right? Like when you hear like Tom Brady or Magic is getting involved with the Raiders, or Magic Johnson is a part of the Los Angeles Dodgers. They're not the primary buyer in any of those cases. They are buying stakes and shares as part of the ownership group, which is pretty common practice. If you look at a lot of, especially some of the really high valuation sports teams that are pretty much no-brainer investments, you do get other people that want to come in and contribute cash, and those groups can do whatever they want with that liquidity for a little bit. But
becomes idiot.
Do we know what that number being negotiated is? Because originally, when there were like 4 or 5 groups at the table, it was 200 million. But where have we come?
I
since
don't know.
Then?
That I can't tell you. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we'll see what happens. But again, just to reiterate, they truly believe that this is a thing. And by they, I mean Masterov and Deaver. They really think that they are the lead horse here.
Cool.
But,
I mean,
if
the timing and price is right, I hope it works out. Like it's at this point, we're just kind of like,
and then you go ahead, Tommy.
I feel like the little kid in The Incredibles, right? When Mr. Incredible's like, "What are you waiting for?" And they're like, "I don't know, something incredible, I guess." Yeah. You just kind of like, well, all right, like what's gonna happen?
Yeah, and then I think the question is, who is now involved in running it? Like, because that's what everybody is going to want to know. That's the $1 million question. Like, who they're going to bring on board to
and
do
what is
this.
the direction? What's going to change?
Exactly.
Is this going to be any different than what we're experiencing now?
Yeah.
And a lot of questions. But
so that's that update. Do with that information what you will. Okay, speaking of business stuff, NC Fit. Jason Kleba, NC Fit's my gym. I'm actually wearing my NC Fit shirt.
Woohoo.
There you go, NC Fit Campbell. They and Mayhem have paired up to provide assistance to affiliates in what I understand. Again, I haven't listened to the whole podcast. I've seen snippets of it, and I've read some stuff in essentially helping them become more viable businesses. And I think that's a great thing.
Yeah. Sweet.
You got a lot of people who have been in the space for a long time who have run businesses, very successful businesses coming together. I mean, you have Austin who joined Mayhem. You have Rich. You have Rory. Now you have Jason. Like getting all of those people in a room together and collaborating, I think that is proof in the pudding of rising tides.
Yeah.
Like they both have run very successful businesses with NC Fit and with Mayhem. And they saw a need that, hey, if we join forces together, we can actually reach more affiliates and get more people into the doors and help more people get fit and off the couch. And, all of those things that, with good coaching, we've heard walking into affiliates then preach that I think this is a huge win. And kind of regardless of what now happens with CrossFit and the sale and the direction, I think that it's still good to see that kind of stuff happening because they're like, you know what, we're not going to wait for the CrossFit sale. We have this vision. We want to help more people. Let's just combine forces and hopefully then they can leverage it more based on, the future of CrossFit, hoping that the trajectory continues to go back up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think too, like if you look back at the history sort of CrossFit, and I know they've done a better job recently, but obviously like the L1 and all the coaching training, like second to none. I mean, that's to me is the best. You go through those like L1, L2 and progress from there. You're going to be one of the best coaches out there, period. The way that those, the seminars work and the staff that teaches those and the skills that you learn, I think it's invaluable. But what they didn't do in the beginning when they were doing it, when things were blowing up and everyone was getting their L1s, is it was like, okay, here's your L1, now go start a business. And there was no guidance there whatsoever. Now, obviously, they have gotten better. They have the affiliate toolkit. That's great. But if you talk to, gym owners who have been around for, 15 plus years, like they were figuring it out on their own. And there were a lot of people that failed and a lot of people that figured it out. Jason was one of the people who figured it out. And I like to brag on NC Fit. I go there. It's always clean. There's always someone at the front desk. The bathrooms and the facilities are awesome. The coaching is second to none. They run, and I'm in the internship program now to coach there a little bit. And it's it's a great experience. I've been to gyms where it's like, oh, you have your L1, come on in and coach. Yeah, just do whatever. You can talk about X, Y, and Z, and then we run the class. Like that ain't cutting it. That is not the way what that experience should be. And then, I had the very first CrossFit gym I belonged to in my hometown. It was a great place. Don't get me wrong, but it was like, to call it a business is a stretch. Yeah, there was no plan there.
A lot of them were rec clubs.
Yeah,
right?
more or less. Yeah, it was like I remember talking to the guy who owned it, who is a great dude. He's like, yeah, I just wanted to start a place where me and my friends could work out. Okay,
which is pretty common.
Which is fine. But then when it comes to actually having to pay the bills and make money, that's where you need some tools. And so I love the fact that Rich and Jason are doing this. Now, obviously, you can't take everything that they've done and apply it to a smaller gym. But there are some things that I think there are some crossovers that they can help people with. And the more resources to make affiliates more successful, the better.
And let's be honest, they've been doing this for a while. Both of them have provided affiliate and gym programming. Both of them have been fixtures in the community for over a decade. Jason has been 16, 17-year affiliate. If you go back to when they started, CrossFit, his original gym, CrossFit Santa Clara, opened in 2000. Was it 2008? Yeah, maybe 2008.
Yeah, because it was right after we won the games, right?
Yeah, it was right after we won the games. Yep, and it's just down the road from university. But they've been whether it's as athletes and doing training camps and hosting like training and compete with Rich or come workout type seminars. This is just, I think this is a logical next step in what they've been doing, and they're obviously good friends and bros from back in the day, and for them to kind of join forces, having some really good minds in their corner, I'm all for it.
Yeah,
and their faces that get you moving. Anytime you talk to Jason, like I said on our Q&A, that man can sell a paper clip to people who don't even have paper. Like he will get you going and create that buy-in that, is half of the equation sometimes, is getting people to believe what you're saying is going to help. And Rich is the same way. So I think it's a great collaboration.
It's funny because they have two very different energies in that regard, right?
Oh yeah.
Rich is kind of like this like cool, calm self-assuredness that like, that you're just like, yeah, I follow this guy. And then Jason's also like the other side of it is like this, almost like this, like golden retrievers, like, you want to play? Want to go to the park? Want to go to the park? And you're like, eventually you're like, yeah, I want to go to the park. Let's go. And they both kind of get you to the same spot in very different ways. And I'm really interested to see how those energies mesh on this side of it to kind of create something unique, I guess.
I'm going to make a Marvel reference. That reminded me of the conversation between Hulk and Thor and Ragnarok. Hulk.
Oh, yeah.
I'd say Jason is the Hulk and Thor is sort of Rich throating on that one.
Just a couple of hot heads.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. Well, we're hoping to get Jason on sometimes because Jason has always beaten the drum of we are businesses and we have got to make money. He's always. And you remember he de-affiliated for a while because his vision of what that meant really didn't align with what at the time CrossFit was doing. And then Rosa came in and he bought into the vision and re-affiliated. So that has always kind of been his thing. And it's great to see him now sharing what he can with affiliates that need it. Because the ones that have been around for 20 plus years, they got it figured out more or less. It doesn't mean they can't use some help in certain areas. But I think
it's a reminder.
Yeah, but I think it's more of like there's quite a few gyms that are struggling to get by. And it's like they're at that point where do we cut bait or do we really try to invest in this and make something good? And that's where I think that knowledge can come in handy for that crew. That's super valuable. All right. Anything else before we move on to our next thing?
Quick note: coaches conference, owners, affiliate owners, and coaches conference dates are July 22nd and 23rd next year at the Signia by Hilton San Jose.
Know right where that is.
Yep. Last year they had the coaches conference tied to the games, which they will again, and the dates have been announced. Also, judges course is live. So
sweet.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of the judges course, let's go here. Let's put up the old morning chalk up, and we'll cover up Tommy's face again. So the 2026 CrossFit season rulebook has been released. So here's what you should know. We'll go through these and we'll talk about them. The Open, know that's going to take place from February 26th through March 16th. Registration fee still $20. Been that way for 13 years. 14 actually. All competitors subject to drug testing. Unlike in the previous years when CrossFit's national champions, I like this change by the way. CrossFit's national champions were determined by open rank. In 2026, the athlete who advances the furthest in the CrossFit Games season from each country with at least one affiliate and good standing will be named the national champion at the end of the season. Bravo. I like that change.
Like that.
I like that a lot too.
Quarterfinals are back, but it's not region-based. Top 25% of athletes who qualify through the Open will be selected from the entire pool of registered athletes worldwide. Dates for those are March 26th through the 30th, with teams qualifying directly from the Open to semifinals. So no quarterfinals for the teams.
I like that too, actually.
Yep. There will be no geofencing this year, and individual divisions athletes are free to compete at whichever events they choose. That's the semifinals. This includes in-person semifinal events and online semifinals. This season, all online semifinal athletes must include YouTube videos with their score submissions, and public video review is back. Huzzah, that should be fun.
Wow.
And for the first time, Masters, yay, Masters, will have an opportunity to compete at in-person semifinals. All right, Masters, you're finally getting what you asked for. And then CrossFit Games, still 30 men and 30 women. 23 will have qualified from in-person semifinals, 7 via the online semifinal. Individual and team athletes, including all athletes on the team roster and team alternates who qualify for the 2026 games, must compete and submit the CrossFit Games 26 medical eligibility form. And that's big. Like that a lot. Okay, so those are the main things. Thanks to our good friends over at Morning Chocolate for putting that out. So let's start with quarterfinals. The 25% in the world. I like that. I like that a lot. It makes it a little more competitive. Now, that means that maybe some people who got in earlier might not now. But I think it's great.
It's 25%. It's not, originally they had top 10%. I think if it was 10% and worldwide, that would be a different conversation. But I think the top 25% is going to still give enough people buy-in from your regular classes that, again, we talk about ways to make affiliates sustainable. I can't name the amount of athletes that when there was quarterfinals and top 25% that were paying for extra personal training sessions with coaches or going to the extra classes like gymnastics or endurance class or barbell club. Like, it's a great way to get more buy-in from your members because it gives them that carrot to chase. Where the Open, yeah, everybody's doing it, but giving those that are maybe a little bit more competitive an opportunity to advance, I think is good for the health of affiliates in the community.
I just like the simplicity of it.
Yeah. I also just like I agree. I like having that extra carrot to chase. I like it's an extra like bonding type moment for the athletes that like make it to quarterfinals and people in the gym come and cheer them on. And, you know, maybe someone sitting there thinks, hey, maybe I want to try and make the quarterfinals for Masters next year, my age group, and motivates them to train.
Yeah.
Like, we're not winning. Like, I'll be the first to admit, like, I would love to make quarterfinals and competing quarterfinals. I'm not winning anything. I'm not advancing in anywhere, but it's a good way to test my fitness and like train and throw down with other friends in that competitive scenario. Because I learn more about my fitness and what I'm capable of and things that I need to work on and, you know, be a little bit more motivated with through that avenue. It's just how I'm wired.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. That having that next step to kind of shoot for, you know, even if you don't participate, but just to say, yeah, I made it. That's awesome. You know, but I would still encourage you to participate if you do make it. It's a good, like Tommy said, it's a great way to learn about, you know, how unfit you are in reality.
It also makes the 3-week open more digestible for people who do want to be competitive at our level, right? Because 3 weeks, as somebody who doesn't have the best engine and always waits for, okay, let me have some higher skill gymnastics, let me have a heavier barbell. You tend to get that in quarterfinals. So it's like, okay, if you can be fit enough to make it through here, now we get to, do some of the fun things.
Yep. Yeah. And I think too, for someone like me, I missed the 5-week open. I know the affiliates are like, it's too much, but you're right. Like it does be, okay, I'll get through these 3 weeks. And then I got some other workouts that I can do. And there's a couple of guys I work out with that might have a chance to make it. So it'd be fun to throw down with them. It's just, I like that a lot.
And I think the total time block for the open and quarterfinals fits within that 5-week window, if I'm not mistaken. It may be 6. I may be 1 week off.
Oh, yeah.
But I think it ultimately the occupation of time on the calendar for an affiliate for someone plans to compete in both is still around the same time. So
yeah,
not bad.
So the other one that I really like. Well, let me tell we'll say likes, and then we'll go to the one I don't like, and we've talked about it before. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the medical thing, as they look to improve safety and things like that, the fact that that wasn't a thing in the past is sort of mind-boggling to me. I mean, when you played high school sports, you used to have to get a physical and have a doctor sign off on you.
Yeah,
you'd always had to go any time, right? So, yeah, it's just another layer of screening that could catch something that might, ultimately, I don't want to be, dramatic and say save a life, but it could, it could have an effect. And if it works once, if it works one time, it's absolutely 100% worth it. And it's not even that big of a deal to do. But
I mean, a great example that my cousin, she, how old was she? College age, whatever, was going to the Naval Academy. And to do the job she wanted to do, they had to have a physical exam to get cleared. I think maybe she's trying to be a pilot, actually. She had no underlying symptoms of nothing. She had thyroid cancer, had this mass lump on her chest that she never would have known unless she had to have that physical.
Yeah.
Extreme scenario, but like these things actually do catch things if you even have no symptoms.
Yeah.
So to me, it's a huge win.
Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the one I don't like, and I've never liked this, is the no geofencing.
Yeah.
I don't like the wild west of the semifinals. It's just personal preference. I understand. I get the argument and I am sympathetic to it. It's like, well, I was injured this weekend. I didn't have a chance to make it. I couldn't compete. So I had another chance to do it here. Like, why should I be penalized for something that didn't happened beyond my control or a scheduling issue or whatever? I hear that. However, that's sports. Yeah. You're scheduled to compete at this time on this place. And if you can't make it, sorry. That's how it goes. And I think it is just for just regional excitement and getting people behind the athletes. It's, I don't know. I like clean and I like simple. And this to me is the opposite of that. And I also sympathize with the fact that if you are pawning off the cost of running these events on the organizers themselves, that you need to give them every opportunity possible to get butts in the seats and sell tickets. And the only way you do that is to get big name athletes there. So I get that too. But perfect world from the sport, it's not elegant enough for me. It's a little just haphazard.
And and I think the opportunities for storytelling is a little scattered or a little chaotic when you don't fully know who is going where for long enough. The one thing I will say I like is some of the adjustments or maybe refinement of the appeals process that was included in it.
Mm-hmm.
You have the option to trigger what's called a full event review, where if you feel like you were like, if they feel, and this is pulled from the rule book, an athlete feels they were subject to unreasonable judging standards, basically throughout the event.
Yeah.
So not just like that one thing. I think like there were multiple like this entire event, I felt like I was unfairly judged or held to a standard or whatever, and you can trigger that. You still have the two appeal process works similar to it has in the past. If you win it, your appeal, you keep the appeal. If you lose it, it's gone. You only get 2. They do codify some elements of like what can be appealed and things that can't be appealed, and they do mention movements with like longer or exaggerated cycle times, like a handstand walk or a rope climb, which I think is important too, because just blanket stating like live judgment calls are final no matter what, like that's not the reality of what competition is. In terms of not all no reps are created equal. The effort to acquire that single rep on the counter or on the leaderboard is not the same across all movements, and some of them do provide a better opportunity to appeal and provide a judgment and like an evaluation of the judgment call. So I like that. I think that's a win. There is still some like broadish language where they're like most live calls are final. And so it kind of gives them some wiggle room. But
I do also like that there are less opportunities to qualify through the online semifinal. Last year it was 11 and now it's 7.
I like that too.
To me, it's just competing in person is so different to competing in your affiliate or wherever you are, where, oh my gosh, my grip's ripped. Hold on, let me go change them. Or my jump rope. You know what I mean? Like live competition, the cool down, the warm up, all of that. I think getting a bigger pool or the majority from in person is the best way.
Agreed.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Oh, sorry, I'm struggling with my eyes. Continue to water here with this stupid cold I got.
Sean's fighting an uphill battle with his immune system right now.
Yeah, man, it's
he's in live competition.
I am.
With his immune system.
I am. Right.
Yeah.
No rep my watery eye here. Jeez, what is going on? All right. Anything else about the rule book? Overall, I think the changes are great. I love the national champion thing. I mean, it always seems stupid to me that the person who was top out of the open is like, no, it's whoever finishes highest at the games and goes the farthest. That's clearly your best. So I'm glad they're doing that.
Yeah. And I'm glad that this is the earliest we've had the rule book outside of the 2020 season when we had 2 opens that year. There was one in October. So this is a full month earlier than last year. And then in 2024, we had it right before Christmas, but still this is outside of 2020, the earliest we've ever had.
Yeah. Wasn't 2020 the year they had like Dubai and they still didn't have a rule book and they figured out like who was
that was 2019.
2019. That's right.
Yeah. So 2019, they had Dubai, Wadapalooza, and I believe Australian CrossFit Championships all go off without a rule book, and nobody knew what the priority was going to be.
Figure it out later. It's a future us problem.
We've come a long way.
Yeah, no, this is great, and and like I said, I get the argument for the no geofencing. I understand it, like sympathetic to those, but from a fan, just being a fan of it, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I think it takes away the excitement of that one semifinal weekend, because that's what made regionals so great. I'll die on this hill. It was one weekend. It was your weekend. You knew who you were competing against. Like you had to make it or you didn't. There was no second chance. You're out. And that's sports, man. That's sports. And it made those regional weekends so freaking exciting.
It did. It really did.
Because like think about when Sam Briggs didn't make it. Remember that?
The year Sam Briggs and Lindsay Valenzuela, the 2 top fittest women returning from 2013, didn't make the CrossFit Games.
Yeah. Think about the drama that happened there and how exciting that was. And while it was disappointing for everybody, go back to that and under our current systems, like, oh, she's just going to compete next week. Don't worry about it. It takes that away. Like that's part of what being a fan is all about. Like those moments, like that finality. It's like in the NCAA, that's what makes the NCAA tournament so great. You lose here, you're done. It's not that you get to come back at a later time and play another opponent on a different floor and see if you can go any farther. No, you got one shot. You're out.
Yeah. When Norfolk State hits the half court buzzer beater to knock out Kentucky.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kentucky. You're done.
That's it. You lost. Like there's no, we're going to go to the NIT and play our way back in. No, that's not how this works. Like, and I think not having that finality takes away from the drama of the competition.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to find a way to get that back. But I wanted to state again, I get why they need to give those events the leeway that they're giving them to get whoever they want, because that's how you sell tickets.
Yeah, I wonder if it's just the natural ebb and flow of where the sport is right now. Like they need to drum up some participation and excitement and encouragement for that. And then once you kind of get back to a cruising altitude, then maybe you can put those geofence, that structure back in place.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good point, because if you had consistent events year to year that you knew were going to be solid, then you could do something like that. You could map your season out, and then you could geofence it a little bit. Yeah, I need that drama. That's what makes sports great. So.
You guys got any more of that drama?
Sports drama going on right now? All right. We got some community support we want to get to before we get to PRs and no reps. I know we got a couple, so I will hand the floor off to the two of you, because I believe you guys have what we're trying to get the word out on here. Lauren, did you want to start or Tommy? Doesn't matter.
Tommy, you have the same one that I do, right?
Yes, I do. Yep.
Okay.
This one comes from our friend Sandra, and she is sharing it on behalf of her Rossum Athletics, previously CrossFit Rossum family. So one of their longtime members and a friend of everyone at Rossum, his name's Biagio. He's 44 years old. He was diagnosed with tongue cancer in 2023 and has been battling it ever since. Seemed he defeated it last year and was back to training and was motivating and a source of inspiration for a lot of people. He was hoping to do his first CrossFit Open in 2025, but unfortunately the cancer came back and his condition has gotten worse. His wife and Patricia and his two young daughters have gone above and beyond to get him the best treatment possible, brought him to Rome, Italy, closer to his parents and family, to a specialist where he went through surgeries, but unfortunately his condition hasn't improved. They eventually went back to Austria, where they're currently trying their best to make him well enough for another treatment. Right now, the chances are pretty low, but they're still holding out some hope. Biagio is an awesome role model for the whole Rossum community, and his community is heartbroken that there's not much help that they can do. However, they can help provide some financial support. And so they started a GoFundMe to help the family cover as much of the medical bills as possible. They're also very fortunate. They have a great healthcare system there. But still there are bills for them to go to to go to different countries to seek out the best possible care. If you want to support, you can go to GoFundMe.com. Type in the search bar "Help for Biagio." It's Biagio. You can also look up Rossum Athletics, which is RAWSOMEATHLETX, and a picture of Biagio, his wife, and their beautiful two daughters should pop up. So they're getting close to the goal. They're at 90% of their goal donation. So a little bit of help and support from our community can help them get over the top and support an important member of the community. So we obviously wish the best for him and his family. And if you have the opportunity to help out, certainly do so.
Do we have another one?
Lauren, I thought you said maybe you had
that was the other one. All right, great.
Yeah, we
just got the same one.
If you guys have something that you want us to get the word out on, please send it to us via our personal Instagram accounts or our Talking Elite Fitness Instagram account. Please include as many details as you possibly can, because we just want to make sure that we're sending people to the right spot and getting the help out there that we need. All right, PRs, no reps. I don't know if I have a no rep. I definitely have a PR, though.
I am going to no rep dad bods.
Yeah, well, of course. That's lifetime.
Oh, tell us more.
Because I just got notification that my Black Friday purchase from Rogue Fitness is inbound.
Yes! So that's always the best email to get.
Yep. So I am stoked.
Congratulations. What did you purchase?
What did you get?
I got the bones of, I guess, the bulk of what I will become my home gym. So got a rack and rig. Barbells, even threw in the rackable awesome. Curl bar, in there just to get a little session there. A bench. I already had some odds and ends that I had gotten from Rogue over the years, from just various purchases here and there. But a bunch of plates, I even sprung for the little like paint flecked plates. You know,
Did you get the Dallas Cowboys bar?
I got the so.
Did you? You did, right?
I did get the Cowboys bar. I did get Dallas Cowboy colored rig and matching.
All right. Awesome.
That one may be a Christmas gift request.
Congratulations. So, all right. That's a good one. What are you going to know, Rep, Lauren?
I don't think I have a no rep.
I don't think I do either.
Other than this freaking snow.
Oh, I wouldn't know anything about that.
It never ends. Like feet just keep dumping in Syracuse, New York, and I really hate it.
That's a balmy 55 degrees here, I think.
Snow?
Yeah.
Yeah, what is snow?
Sorry, I couldn't see see your gestures through the sun-kissed glare coming off.
I see the sun hitting me right now.
I'm bundled up.
Really jealous.
It's 65 degrees here, so
Ooh.
There's a chill. Gotta put on my beanie before I go outside. All right, well, I'll start the PRs. I'm going to PR once again. I'm going to PR Disney and the NFL. I don't know if you guys watched it, but they did another one of their broadcast of a Monday Night Football game. They did a Monsters Inc. game with the Monday night game between that rock fight between the Eagles and the Chargers. And it was a blast to watch. I sat there and watched it with my son, and he was into it. Like he was asking questions. He was, hey, did you see this guy? And they would it's genius how they do it. I don't know how they figured out this technology, but if you don't know what it is that they take the real Monday Night Football game and they are able to translate that into computer animation that happens in more or less real time. So whatever you're watching, the play that plays out on the computer animation is what happens on the field. And they had it on the scare floor at Monsters Inc. And Sully and Mike Wazowski Wazowski was playing for the Eagles and Sully was playing for the Chargers, and they would put them out on the field, and like Sully got a sack, and like Wazowski had a big run, and it was a blast. And it's such a great way to expose kids to the game. And they had like little explainer videos about what certain terminology meant. It was like Dan Orlovsky, and I forget who the play-by-play guy was, but even when they showed them, they were monsters.
Oh,
and it was
amazing.
an absolute.
Where's it streamed?
It was on Disney Plus. So it was live on Disney Plus, and they've done that they've done a Toy Story game before, and so like the
SpongeBob,
they've done SpongeBob. Well, that was on Nickelodeon.
Nickelodeon,
it was like it was augmented reality, but this is like computer animation, and it was hilarious because the Toy Story one, the 10-yard thing was the stretchy dog.
Perfect.
Dude, the first down marker for Monsters Inc. was that monster's tongue. It was the first down tongue, so like they had somebody holding the tongue.
God.
It was just like little stuff like that it's fantastic. And they just get how to market. And it was like, I've never seen my kid sit there and be that into a football game before because he had all these questions about like, why is this? What's that? And
that's cool.
What's the score? And what does this number mean? And he'll watch like real football with me sometimes, but he was like into this. So well done, Disney and the NFL. I mean, they're just creating a whole new generation of fans. And they even had like Billy Crystal and John Goodman did the voices. Like they were there. They had recorded all that stuff. And they had Roz was the sideline reporter.
Oh my God.
Anytime there's a yellow flag, like the child containment unit would come out there and like suck it up off. I mean, it was great. Like it was just, and they had like the first down sign. It was just a really good experience. I don't know if it's still up on Disney Plus, but if you were a subscriber and you want to check it out, it was a lot of fun. So that's my PR.
Smart.
It's good PR. My PR, my first one I've got too, is to one of my best friends, Presley Hirsch, is engaged to Colton.
You were here. I PR'd her for that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, congratulations.
Oh, you did? Okay, yeah. I was thinking, I was like, I don't think I did that PR. And I just got my Will You Be a Bridesmaid box in the mail the other day. So, we getting ready. For all the shenanigans
get your
that are
hair did, get your nails did.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
So that's my first PR.
Good.
And then my second PR, Tommy, maybe Sean knows her too. Laura Rice, who works with CrossFit on the media side of things, and she's at events.
Yeah.
Okay. So
she's the one checking us in and telling us not to do dumb stuff.
Yeah, I know her.
Exactly. She's amazing. She's a sweetheart. She's lovely. She actually owned an affiliate in Rochester, which is about an hour and a half from me.
Oh, I didn't know that.
She recently sold it about a year ago. She now lives in Texas with her family, but her affiliate hosted a Masters CrossFit comp this past weekend. Guys, Me and my team won, and
Yeah!
there was money. I didn't know that there was prize money until right before the last workout.
And you're like, oh no, this is on.
And I was like, oh my God, okay, we got to practice our line facing burpees as a team before. We got to make sure we're in step. And everyone's like, oh, we tell you there's prize money, and now you want to practice the things. And I was like, yeah, duh. But yeah.
Damn.
So
awesome.
How much prize money did you get to celebrate at Red Lobster?
$50.
We went to downtown Rochester, and we were slinging some dollars to the espresso martinis that were on tap.
Ooh,
that was the thing. It was lovely, but we each got $125. I thought that was a pretty good prize for
that's
a local comp.
We'll do it.
That's more than most money we'll ever make doing CrossFit.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the most money I've ever made doing CrossFit.
That's awesome. Good for you. All right, Tommy, PR.
My PR is laughter.
That's a
great
good PR.
I don't know if you guys, everyone's sense of humor is different. I'm a big fan of Conan O'Brien. He has an awesome podcast called Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend.
His show, late night show, was so underrated.
So good.
Oh God, so many. Yeah, I can go on forever about it. Go ahead.
So his podcast, Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend, intersperses like really cool interviews with notable people and interviews with fans from around the world that he basically interviews as potentials to be his friend. He recently had an episode with Will Arnett that
Will Arnett.
I haven't laughed that hard in a long time.
I'll have to check it out.
Will Arnett kind of got his breakthrough as Job in Arrested Development.
Greatest show of all time.
I wouldn't like. I think it's right up there, the top comedic shows, sitcoms of all time. And Will Arnett, you recognize him. If you don't know the name, you'll recognize his voice immediately.
With
goes
club
on.
sauce.
Him and Conan have the same like comedy style and sense of humor. And there's an anecdote that he tells, and I say this because I'll kind of preface this because it is a little bit of gallows humor, right? Conan lost both of his parents in 2 days.
Oh man!
Last year. Dad passed away.
God.
2 days later, mom passed away. Oh. And they talked about how he coped through humor and his ability to joke about it with Will Arnett and Jason Bateman. And it is one of the funniest things I've heard in a long time. And I'm driving in the car listening to it, cracking up at 6 a.m. And it was just one of those things you have a good needed laugh, like belly laugh that.
They're the best. You sent me the thing you sent me on Instagram yesterday. That was me, like that laugh. Watched that like 4 or 5 times and just lost it every time. That was amazing. Thank you for that. I needed that.
Oh yeah.
All right. That's going to do it for us for today. Thanks everybody for listening. Thanks to our sponsor, Thirdzy, Thirdzy.com. The code is TEF. You're going to save 20% on the Rest and Recovery Collagen. Tommy, safe travels.
Yeah.
And
I hope there's no travel drama.
God, don't jinx it. Just say safe travels.
Oh, please.
Don't bring the shirt. Burn the shirt. Burn the shirt.
You hear that? I'm knocking on wood right now.
There we go. All right. Let's all throw a bunch of salt over our shoulder, whatever we need to do.
Yeah.
Exercise the demons. Whatever you need to do, Tommy. I hope you have safe travels, and I hope you have a great time over there. We'll definitely be watching. So for Lauren Khalil and Tommy Marquez, I'm Sean Woodland. Take care of each other. Be better. We'll talk to you guys next time. Like a kiss at the start of a first date. If it's good, I don't want to wait. When the feeling's right, I'm taking everything.